You know what really gets under my skin during the Halloween season, apart from forced nostalgia and pumpkin spice everything? It's how often horror anthology films come out swinging with killer concepts and multiple stories, only to trip over their own feet because they tried to cram it all into a single sitting. Some of these flicks practically beg to be expanded into episodic form, where pacing, tension, and character can actually breathe. One prime example, Cradle of Fear. A film that already feels like a series, but chooses to stay locked in the damp crypt of early 2000s direct-to-video hell. It's grungy, gory, deeply flawed, and yet weirdly fascinating. So, in the spirit of seasonal suffering and screaming at wasted potential, let's dig up this rotting gem and talk about why it should have been reborn as a proper series. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Daemon, and today I'm looking at the wasted potential of Cradle of Fear. The film opens with a shadowy figure known only as the Man, played by Danny Filth, yes, from Cradle of Filth, getting jumped by a couple of muggers in a grimy London alley. Unfortunately for them, the Man turns out to be less victim and more predator, quickly dispatching them in a flurry of viscera and clunky choreography. So far, so grim-dark. Meanwhile, Detective Inspector Peter Nielsen is neck-deep in a crime scene involving two young women, Melissa and Nikki, who met an extremely unpleasant end. Cue the first flashback segment, a grungy goth club, sex with the Man, hallucinations, and then mutant baby body horror, literally. Melissa seeks help from her friend after a tryst with the Man, only for a creature to burst out of her womb and murder them both. Shocking, sure. Sensical? Absolutely not. But hey, Gore quota met. Then we move on to story 2. Sophie and Emma, a couple of delinquent burglars, break into a house for some quick cash. Things go south when a corpse-like old man jumps out from under the sheets like a Poundland Nosferatu. They kill him again, kind of. But then Sophie murders Emma to keep the money. As you can guess, that doesn't end well either. Zombified revenge ensues. It's basically a budget remake of Creepshow's Father's Day without the charm, effects, or plot coherence. Next up is Nick, an amputee struggling with his new disability and intimacy issues. Solution: steal your mate's leg and transplant it with the help of your back alley surgeon, because obviously it works. Until the leg develops a mind of its own and kills his girlfriend. Nick ends up impaling himself while the ever-present Man mops up the scene. A half-baked morality tale mashed with body parts and a deranged sense of irony. Finally, we reach Richard, a pervert obsessed with violent content and snuff film. After getting fired for watching execution videos at work, you don't say, he discovers a shady website that lets users live stream their murder commands in real time. This quickly leads him to a mysterious house where he ends up on the receiving end of the production line, murdered on camera by masked torturers. The twist? He's Nielsen's son. With this loss, Nielsen charges into the facility where Kemper, the Satanist serial killer who started all this, is being held. We discover the Man is Kemper's son, fulfilling his father's revenge by working through a hit list of everyone who helped put him away. The climax is pure splatter. The Man is half shot to death, then morphs into a tentacle monster and seemingly finishes Nielsen off. Cradle of Fear is a walking paradox. It's dreadful, it's amateurish, it's loaded with bargain bin effects, horrendous sound mixing, and acting that deserves its own subgenre of cringe. But it's also unapologetically trashy, grotesquely ambitious, and, well, committed. Alex Chandon doesn't half-ass anything. He throws the whole Satan-soaked kitchen sink at the screen. The gore is unrelenting. Stomach-bursting mutant babies, face-stomping, scissor abortions, necrotic limb transplants, and more. Most of it looks cartoonish, but damn if it isn't enthusiastically done. The sex and nudity are equally rampant and mostly pointless. And then there's the music. If you've ever wanted a horror film that looks like it was edited in Windows Movie Maker while blaring late 90s alternative metal, congratulations. Well, it's what I used to listen to. I still do from time to time. And yet, for all its sins, it's weirdly watchable. If you love splatterpunk and underground horror, this is like finding a crusty VHS tape soaked in blood and Mountain Dew, but it is way too long. Clocking in at 2 hours, Cradle of Fear overstays its welcome harder than a drunken Danny Filth at your Halloween party. Here's the kicker. This film was already structured like a TV series. It's essentially 4 standalone episodes with a loosely connecting plot. And in series form, it could have been so much better. Let's break it down. Each segment could have easily expanded into a 2-part story, giving us 8 episodes. The world, grotesque as it is, had enough material to stretch into proper arcs, like exploring Kemper's cult, delving into the nature of the man, or giving more substance to the victims before they get filleted. As a series, the tonal whiplash between segments, from grim-dark nihilism to campy gore, could have been ironed out. Episodes could be directed and scored individually to suit their subgenres better. Body horror, revenge horror, techno-paranoia, you name it. None of the victims have depth. In a series, they could have lives, families, motivations, making their deaths actually mean something. Nielsen's investigation could run as a slow-burn subplot, escalating to the finale. A series would allow time to explore the twisted morality tales hiding underneath all the vomit and entrails. Issues like voyeurism, addiction, physical disability, betrayal, themes that get trampled by the rush to the next kill. Given time and an episodic format, even a low-budget outfit could make improvements. Better lighting, cleaner editing, sound effects that don't sound like rejected Looney Tunes Foley. Think Channel Zero with less subtlety and more viscera. Or Inside Number 9 if the number 9 was hell and the only exit was through a goat-headed sex dungeon. Cradle of Fear is a beautiful abomination. A splatter-filled goth fever dream that's too much for a film, but somehow not enough either. As it stands, it's a chaotic, clumsy mess. But with structure, space, and maybe a few rewrites by someone who's not high on resin fumes, this could have been a cult classic horror series. But no. Instead, we got 2 hours of Danny Filth grunting and murdering between scenes of cartoon violence, gothic nudity, and the worst CGI this side of a PlayStation 1 cutscene. And yet I love it, which says more about me than it should, because this could have been our twisted British tales from the crypt. Instead, it's gore from the Gregs. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, like the video, and leave your opinions in the comments, where, naturally, I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.